Hold my drink. Don't act like you know me if you don't know my team. That's how it goes, man. Please don't mind me. It is as if my whole life I dream. Winning is all I do, I think. Magic tricks when I roll up my sleeves. What you talking about, sleep? I stay up and get things done. I be like, ready, get me some. You couldn't prevent me from taking the lead in this league. I got stripes and stripes, striking best. Not hide your eyes. I'll just a whole dynamite. Let it ignite inside and still be able to remind them why. It's Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud Kingdom. Spud. Entertaining, I was like, all right, let's go.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of a Spud Kingdom podcast. I am your host, as always, Kevin Woodrum. Some of you know me as Woody. First off, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and giving me all the feedback that you do every single week. I really appreciate it. It really helps me to make this a little bit better for everybody. And I really do appreciate everything that you guys tell me. We have lots to cover this week. I'm thinking possibly about moving the podcast release to Thursdays in general, for a couple different reasons. They release like players of the week for the NCDC and players of the month and stuff like that, usually late Tuesday or early Wednesday. So I would like to hold off so I can get that and maybe add that segment to the podcast as well. And also, games are going to be on Friday and Saturday for the rest of the season up until playoff time. So I think if I release it the day before the game starts, it'd probably be a lot better for everybody, get us a little bit more pumped right before the games. So just a thought, hit me up on Facebook. Let me know what you guys think. This week it's a little delayed because we did have a game Sunday. Usually Sunday is the day that I go over all the stats, watch all the videos and stuff from the weekend, and get all my stuff written down. Unfortunately, because we had a game Sunday, and then I worked Monday night, that we had another event at the Mountain America Center, I wasn't able to get all that stuff done in a timely fashion. So this week, the episode is a day late. Sorry about that. But I am getting it out there for you guys. And then I do want your opinion on if we should stay on Thursdays, just because it might be better the day before the games start for the weekend. Maybe it'll help us get a little bit more hyped up. I don't know. Just an idea. So hit me up on Facebook at Spud Kingdom Podcast. Let me know. Hit me up on X at Spud Kingdom Pod. If that's where you prefer to hit me up, it don't matter. Just hit me up and let me know what you guys think. I would also like to congratulate the trivia winner from last week. The winner was Chris Strom. Chris, I'll hit you up pretty soon. I'll be messaging you, and we'll get together, and I'll get you your hat, man. I really appreciate everybody that tuned in and actually answered this week. It made it way more fun when we had multiple people tune in. So we'll have another trivia question this week, because I think last week was awesome having multiple people, so we'll try it again. Unfortunately, I do have a lack of interviews this week because Saturday I attended the game as a fan, so it was harder for me to get interviews backstage. So I waited around after the game for quite a while, and I wasn't really able to meet up with anybody because they had a long meeting in the locker room and whatnot. And so I only really got to talk to one person Saturday night. And then Sunday, we'll get to here in a little bit, but because we lost on Sunday, it just didn't think it was the best idea to get some interviews on Sunday, just because moods might not have been the best. I might not have got the best overall content. I probably would have got some good content and some juicy stuff, but I don't think it's like the best stuff to get here on this podcast. I try to keep everything as positive as possible, even when we diss on people and stuff. I keep it in like a positive, uplifted spirit. So not too many interviews this week. Ogden did sweep their weekend, so we'll get to that and how that affects our standings. We swept. We didn't get to sweep our weekend. We actually went 1-1, so we'll get to that as well and let you know how everything goes on that. This coming up weekend, we do have Ogden in a 2-game set. 1 game here at home, 1 game there in Ogden. I'll get you a little bit of preview of that later in the show as well. Later in the show, after all that, we also have the 3 stars of the week. I really like that segment, so I'm going to continue to do it. Let me guys. Still haven't had any feedback on that one, but I'm pretty sure you guys all like it, so I'm going to stick with it if you're cool with it. Hockey Rule of the Week, we'll have that one coming up as well. I did get a fan interview, so we'll get to that. And then I'll tell you a little bit about my experience on Saturday, give you a little highlight of what it was like for me to actually attend the game instead of work it. It was kind of nice to let loose and not have to concentrate on other things and be able to actually focus and watch the game live and in person. It was pretty cool. So, with all that being said, let's get to some of the action. So, game 1 was Saturday, December 7th at the Mountain America Center versus the Utah Outliers. There was lots of shots in this game in general, especially for the Spud Kings side of things. Almost double, actually, for the Spud Kings in almost every period. So it was kind of nice to see us getting some shots up. In the first period, though, Utah had 8 shots on goal. The Spud Kings had 15, so there's that almost double differential there. But Utah was able to capitalize twice. The first one coming at 8 minutes and 9 seconds by Garrett Joss. Sorry. It was his 17th of the year. Garrett is one of the best players in all of the NCDC. So it's no surprise to me that he was able to get a score and get the things going for Utah. I mean, he's up there with Brody Simcoe as some of the most hated players in the league for us. I mean, those 2 teams are our biggest competitors. They're right there, 1, 2, and 3 with us. And those 2 guys, Simcoe and Joss, they are up there in the top 5 in scoring in the league. So anytime they come around or we play those guys, it's always a battle. So Utah was able to capitalize. The first one was at 8 minutes, 9 seconds by Josh. It was his 17th on the year. Continues to be up there in the top of the league, one of the best in the league there. The next came at 8 minutes, 59 seconds. Only 50 seconds later, really. So Lucas Hinn was able to get one past Durkin, who started for the night for the goaltender for the Spud Kings. Marcus Ouellette shut down the Spud Kings in the first period and ended 2-0 in favor of Utah at the end of 1. So lots of shots got up. Unfortunately, Marcus Ouellette, who is one of the best goaltenders in the league, was able to shut us down. Let's see, maybe we can pick that up in the second period a little bit. So the second period would show a little bit of life for the Spud Kings. They would wake up, not as many shots, but still almost double the amount. Utah had 6 shots on goal and the Spud Kings had 11, so down just a little bit from the first period. But the Spud Kings were able to finally capitalize on the shots, and they got 2 goals on the period of their own. The first one came at 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Owen Beyer got his second on the year, and he was assisted by Michael Hillock and for his first, and Bookie Warshaw his ninth. So originally in the game, this was called a Bookie Warshaw goal. He actually wasn't even close to the play. This was also one of them crazy goals. Owen did this, I believe, the previous weekend against Casper, but it got flicked up over the net, and Michael Hillock tried to bat it down, but he actually missed it, but it still trickled into the goal and still counted for us. So almost they didn't give us the goal because they thought Michael Hillock hit the goal, the puck, and if he did, it was considered high sticking, and we'll get to that also later in the program of why it was high sticking and the whole rule of the week. This is going to perfectly tie into that. But they thought it was high sticking, but he actually never made contact. The referees got together and they discussed about it, and they actually made a good goal. They originally awarded it to Bookie, But they must have went over further review throughout the night, and they changed it in the scorebooks to Owen Beyer, which he was the one that actually flipped it up and over the net and got it to go in. So Bookie was like, "Hey, I'll take the goal, but it wasn't me." And I went back and looked at it, and Bookie wasn't even close to the play. So nice honesty, Bookie. I know you would take the goal. I mean, anybody would, but way to be honest there. 3 minutes later, at 7 minutes and 6 seconds, Andrew Schmidt would get his 15th on the year, and he was assisted by Will Donovan for his sixth and Tin Kim, and that was his first. After the goal, Garrett Joss tripped Tim Kim. I don't know if you guys saw this live or not, and I did. I was sitting there on the glass with the Section 117 Rowdy. Shout out to the 117 Rowdies, and shout out to Brian for hooking me up with the ticket, man. I really appreciate it. But we were sitting right there, and after the goal, we see Tim go down, and Garrett Joss just does this little move and trips Tim. And if you go back and watch it on Flow Hockey, it is so obvious. It's like, he was sneaky as crap, but that was so obvious. I'm surprised the referees didn't see it. But then again, referees don't see a lot of things sometimes, so it can be frustrating. But there should have been a penalty at the end of that. Garrett Josh, dirty move. That's all I can say about that, man. That was so dirty. No call. Oh, well. Well, we ended up tying up the game off of that, so didn't really matter. Durkin would shut out the outliers in the period, so each goalie matched each other for shutouts. So it's 2-2 into the second. The third period would be a battle. They would be matching shots, and the goaltenders would be doing their best. Utah put up 11 shots. Spud Kings put up 11 shots. No scoring until close to the end of the period. With 17 minutes and 27 seconds, Lucas Ronner gets his first of the year, assisted by Will O'Donovan for his eighth, and Sammy Grimaldi for his fourth. So this goal put us up by 1. It was awesome because it was late in the game. We were thinking to ourselves, awesome, now we just got to hold them. That's all we have to do. And then there was a malfunction with the clock. Well, it wasn't really a malfunction with the clock. The clock operator hit some buttons, and they changed the clock. It went before the puck dropped or something, and they had to change it back to the 2 minute 33 seconds left in the period, I believe is where it was at. And they couldn't get it. It went to like 2.3 seconds, and then it went to like 23 seconds, and then finally they got it to go through, and they dropped the puck, and that kind of deflated some of the momentum, because less than 30 seconds later, at 17 minutes and 52 seconds, Cole Mears was able to tip in a shot and tie the game again. So that whole clock malfunction thing kind of slowed down all the momentum, and they were able to capitalize on that, Utah was, and they tied up the game. But it was short-lived, thank goodness, because 19 seconds later, at 18 minutes and 11 seconds, Will Strickland gets his first, and what would be the game winner. I mean, it was a beautiful shot from outside. He was at the point. It snuck by, got through the goalie. Beautiful slapper. It was great. He was assisted on the play by Easton Edwards. So this play, the way it started, there was a scrum in the corner, and it finally got kicked out by Andrew Schmidt, and Easton Edwards gets a hold of it, kicks it over to Will Strickland, and Will fires a shot, and it gets by. So we finally able to go on and take the lead again, but this time we would hold them off because there was no clock malfunctions. We were able to drop the puck, play some defense, and hold them to nothing for the rest of the period and walk away with the win. So 2 big goals by defensemen on the play to win the game there in the third. Big time needed. Those guys both got their first goals, so it was nice to see. I have some audio footage of these plays that I will play here in just a little bit, just so you guys can get a firsthand sound of what it sounded like from the broadcast from Scott Bradford and the Spud King TV crew. So I'll play that here in a little bit. But Spud Kings had 5 power play opportunities, and they were not able to capitalize on any of them. Durkin did stop 22 out of 25 shots for a save percentage of 88. He gets win number 13 on the year. Minor note, I heard people asking, hey, where's Carlson at? If you guys don't remember, at the end of the Casper game with like 2 minutes left, he ended up getting in a fight. So he got suspended for this game and was not able to play. So he had to sit, unfortunately, but he was able to come back the next night and he was able to play then. So Carlson was suspended for the fight at the end of the last game. So that's why he didn't play. So I promised you I would get you the audio from the game. So without further ado, here is the audio on the 3 last goals. It goes Spud Kings, then Utah, then Spud Kings. So here's the audio from those 3 goals.
The Spud Kings get it there. Now they have an opportunity. Score!
Let's go, Spud Kings!
Lucas Ronner. As we were talking about that, you saw the puck get chipped out to the Spud King defenseman. Got it to Ronner.
And he was able to get advantage over the other.
Nice job. Let's get this replay. Here it is. Now, Ouellette is coming out. There'll be a man advantage here for Utah. Open net. This one coming to the side. Lozani at the point. Sends this one back across to Hinn. Hinn drops it. Shot, score!
That's a score with 2 minutes left on the clock.
Mears is going to get the tip here.
We are now tied. There's a lot of good action between these teams.
Yeah, Liam Donovan had an opportunity there coming in on the backhand side. This one comes to the point. Strickland with it. Strickland sends it, a score!
Oh my goodness! Action!
Will Strickland!
What a crazy last 2 minutes of the game.
We got a minute 49 left, and there's going to be more craziness before it's all said and done.
My goodness.
So Will Strickland, I believe his first goal of the season.
Good job, Will.
His 6th point overall makes the score 4-3, and I tell you, the fans are going nuts now. They're getting a treat here late in this contest.
Thanks, Scott Bradford. I really appreciate you guys. Like, you always have quite enthusiasm for the game and for the Spud Kings, especially when they score and stuff. So I don't mind getting those audio recordings, man, because they always deliver, and I really appreciate it. So thanks again, Scott Bradford. I appreciate you for that, man. Also, as promised, I was able to catch up with DJ MacLeish at the end of the game. I didn't talk to him for very long. It was a long night. Like I said, I didn't get to work the game, so I didn't get to talk to these guys until it was way later and they were on their way out the door, because I just had to hang out kind of where the players' families and their people that hold their homes for them, they meet up with them after the game. I just kind of had to hang out in the same area and wait and hopefully catch an interview with somebody. So DJ was kind enough to talk to me after the game and give me a little bit of his perspective on the game. So without further ado, here is DJ. Hey guys, I'm here with DJ MacLeish. We just picked up a big win against Utah. Man, how does that feel for tonight?
I mean, it feels really good. It wasn't the prettiest, but we got through it, and we came out with 2 defensemen scoring the last 2 goals there. It was huge for us, and we're just going to take it into tomorrow's game.
Yeah, that was real huge. I mean, they tried to make it a game there at the end and scare us a little bit, but you guys were able to prevail. That's going to look real good in the outlook going into tomorrow. How confident do you feel?
I mean, I feel really confident. We're going to go out and win it again, and it's going to be fun.
All right. Thank you for your time, DJ.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. All right. Thanks very much, DJ. I really appreciate that, man. So there's a little bit of the outlook there. He really thanked the defensemen. He gave them a shout out because he's one himself for coming through in the clutch and getting the last 2 goals there to help us win the game. So thank you, DJ, once again for talking to me. I really appreciate the time, man. So I appreciate that. And so that puts us in second still because of Ogden. So we picked up 2 more points, but unfortunately, Ogden won their game on Friday night and on Saturday night. So they actually had a 2-point lead on us going into Sunday's afternoon matchup with Utah. So speaking of, let's get to game 2. Game 2 was Sunday, December 8th at the MAC. It was an afternoon game. It was a 3:05 puck drop. Durkin had the night off. Joey Bertram had the start for the Spud Kings in the net. So it was nice to see Durkin get a night off. He's been working his butt off out there, being the wall, being the guy that we love so much. So it was nice to see him get a night off. First period started as a defensive goalie battle for the most part. Utah had 7 shots on goal. Spud Kings had 12. Utah would take advantage of it and get the score, though. Late in the period at 18 minutes and 37 seconds, that guy, there he is again, Mr. Duddy himself, Garrett Joss, gets his 18th on the year. He actually stole the puck and got a breakaway and was able to put one past Bertram. It was actually a really nice move and a nice shot. Garrett is one of the most talented players in the league, as we talked about earlier, and it also was playing pretty dirty all weekend. So, I mean, I had a lot of respect for the dude because he is so talented, but I lost a lot when I watched him play because, man, did he have some dirty moves. Not just that trip on Tim Kim. There was other ones throughout the game that I saw that, like, did this guy get away with it just because he is who he is? I don't know. I don't really care. Anyway, the games are over. But he gets his 18th goal on the year. So that would put them up 1-0. It was a breakaway. It was a good goal. So that 1-0 at the end of one. Second period would move, have more shots from Utah. Utah would get 12 shots on goal. The Spud Kings would get 13. Ouellette would shut out the Spud Kings in this period. Utah would score 2 more. And the first one came at 7 minutes and 16 seconds as Justin Obratka got his 8th goal on the year. And then less than 30 seconds later, at 7 minutes and 42 seconds, Sira Valic got his first on the year. It wasn't looking good for us at this point. They took a 3-0 lead. This was not even midway through the second period. So, man, I mean, the crowd was feeling a little bit defeated and everything. But when the players came off the ice, I was working on the back access, and they said, it'll be all right. We're going to turn this around. And Bookie Warsaw actually stopped and talked to me. I didn't record it or nothing because I was working, but he stopped to talk to me. He said, if we can just get one, it's going to flip this momentum, and we're going to make a comeback. That dude was so right. So here we go. Third period, which shows Spud Kings battle back finally. Utah only had 3 shots on goal, so great defense by the Spud Kings. Maybe Utah was just playing a little bit of keep away, just trying not to, cause any mischief. But you know what? It didn't work out in their favor. The Spud Kings would get 13 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings finally strike at 10 minutes, 10 seconds into the period when Tim Kim delivers his 3rd on the season with a sweet feed from DJ MacLeish for his 6th assist and Easton Edwards for his 16th. Like, it was awesome. And this one, when it went in, we also thought maybe they were going to call it back because when the puck got passed to Tim right there in the slot, the other player got taken down from behind, so we thought maybe it was going to be a penalty shot, and they didn't count the goal. I mean, they did put the hand up like it was going to be a delayed penalty, but because we got the goal like it should be, the penalty was waived off, and they did count the goal, thank goodness. So, fortunately for us, we did get the goal. So we got the first one there. So now it's 3-1. Get a little bit of comeback going, a little bit of momentum. Like they said, all we need is one. It'll strike some momentum and we'll get going. So he got the assist from DJ and Easton. Almost thought they took away the goal. Luckily it stood. And then 2.5 minutes later, at the 12-minute, 48-second mark, DJ MacLeish gets his 2nd, and he was assisted by Andrew Schmidt for his 14th, Easton Edwards for his 17th. This was a sweet goal, too. DJ just slapped one in there. It was beautiful. And then 3 minutes go by when Tim Kim strikes again. At 15 minutes, 37 seconds, he was assisted by Ronnie Wade for his 10th, and DJ, once again, the Beast MacLeish, gets his 7th assist on the year. Spud Kings battle hard and force overtime. So 3-3 into 3. We're thinking we got a lot of momentum going. This could be it. We flip the switch. We're ready to go. We battle. It's overtime. Overtime wouldn't last long, though, and it would end with some controversy. definitely controversy in this. I had to watch this play a couple times, and I kind of see what happened, but anyway, let's get to it. So, with 40 seconds into the period, the referees would call a slashing penalty. And at first, Sammy Grimaldi, first of all, had the puck, and he was in the attacking zone. And they call a slashing penalty. They stopped the play. Scott Bradford, even on the telecast, was like, "Hey, Sammy gets the penalty on him. We're gonna get the extra man advantage. It'll be 4-on-3. This should be awesome for the Spud Kings to take advantage of it." And then they announced that Sammy is the one that actually committed the slash, and he's going to the penalty box, and Utah gets the man advantage. So I don't know exactly what they saw. Like, I saw a little bit of what could have been a slash, but from my angle and from the camera angle, it looked like he was making a deke, and he's the one that got hit. But anyway, they called the slashing on Sammy, so Utah ends up on the power play, and it didn't take too much long after that, because 1 minute 23 seconds into the period, Chase Nitre ends it with his third on the year. I mean, it was a great goal, and they set it up perfectly and everything. But man, like, seriously, do you really have to call a penalty like that, especially in overtime? Like, how would I don't know, slashing, controversy, ridiculousness. I know Coach Bone was extremely unhappy after he got off the ice. He had to go into the locker room and clear his head a little bit before everybody else came in there. And all the Spud Kings went in there and cleared their head, because they actually had to skate with the kids afterwards. But, man, what a tough loss. Tough loss. And then, when I was doing this research, I found out that DJ MacLeish was awarded a 10-minute game misconduct at the end of the game after it was over for arguing the referee's decision on the slashing. So I don't know if that's going to cause him to be suspended or not for the next game, or if he's going to have to sit his 10-minute misconduct out at the beginning of next game. But man, that's going to hurt if he can't play, because Friday's against Ogden, and we really need DJ. So that would really, really suck. I didn't even know that happened. I know some of the players were sitting there talking to the refs a little longer than normal, and when they got called off the ice, they left, no problem. But I was doing some research and getting all the stats for this, and I saw that he was awarded a 10-minute game misconduct for arguing. Like, dang, really, man? Just let the game be over, ref. Jeez. Just let it go. It's over. I hope that doesn't cost us. Anyway, the game would end 4-3 in overtime. Tough loss. Joey Bertram would stop 19 out of 23 shots and an .826 save percentage for the night. We would get 1 point for losing in overtime. Unfortunately, it wasn't 2. So with Ogden sweeping on the weekend and us only getting the 1 point on Sunday, now they have a 2-point advantage in the standings. We'll get to that here in just a little bit when we bring up the standings and stuff. But dang, what a rough day. Rough day. That would have been our 9th victory in a row, too, if we would have been able to pull that one off. Momentum was swinging high for us. It was, that was a heartbreaker. So we're still number 2 after the weekend series. I don't have any interviews for this one, as I mentioned previously, because of the loss and because of the situations and everything afterwards. I don't think, honestly, the interviews wouldn't be so pleasant anyway, as I mentioned before. So I didn't get any interviews for this game, but we will talk about that all here in a little bit as well. So that concludes the weekend wrap up for the day. I'm going to take a short break, take a drink real quick, clear my voice, and then I'll be back with the rest of the show. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I know you guys didn't go anywhere, but I did for just a second. So what we're going to get into now is we're going to get into the stat leaders. Andrew Schmidt is still number 1 on the team in points with 29, and he's 5th in the NCDC still. He got some goals and assists this weekend, so it kept him up there in the top. And then also still first in goals with 15 and 6th in the NCDC with the goals. Easton is second on the team with 26 points and 9 goals, but leads assists with 17. Durkin only played the 1 game this weekend, so he's 13-4 on the year now with a .923 save percentage, giving up 2.26 goals a game. And the Spud Kings average about 3.35 goals per game. So when he's in the net, our chances of winning are very high. We got 3 stars of the week coming up as well. We'll go with that since we just talked about the stats. Kind of goes hand in hand. 1 and 2 was hard for me. I had some help making that decision when I saw the player of the week come out, so it kind of helped that out a little bit. And then 3 and the runner-up was also really hard to do. And man, it was almost a coin toss, but I went with one over the other. And here we go. We'll just get to it. My runner-up this week was Easton Edwards. He had 3 assists on the weekend, put up a great showing. He always out there working his butt off. He's either scoring a goal or contributing in some way with an assist or something. So Easton always kicking butt. We appreciate his hard work. Unfortunately, this week, he's edged out just barely by our 3rd star of the week, which was Andrew Schmidt. Andrew Schmidt had 1 goal and 2 assists for the week and continues to dominate and do what he does. I was hoping I was going to be able to talk with him this last weekend, but like I said, some things just didn't work out with the interviews and stuff. So hopefully I will get another chance to talk to him. Maybe he'll have another big game this Friday, and I'll get the opportunity then. But we'll see how that goes. And the 2nd star of the week was Tim Kim. This man had 2 goals and 1 assist. So it was really hard for me to decide between him and our 1st star because Tim put out a great performance. He had an assist in the first day, and then he had 2 goals the next night, which almost helped us win the game. Like, we were so close. So Tim gets the 2nd star of the week, and our 1st star of the week goes to DJ the Beast MacLeish. And DJ had 1 goal and 2 assists on the weekend. The biggest deciding factor was he was named the player of the week for the Mountain Division in the NCDC. And we talked about earlier that I wanted to possibly wait to hold off on the podcast so we can incorporate the player of the week into the podcast as a segment itself. This week, I'm just going to tie it in with the 3 stars because that was my deciding factor to put DJ over Tim because they both had a big weekend. And, I mean, Andrew had a big weekend, too. He had the exact same stats as DJ. But since DJ was named the Mountain Division NCDC Player of the Week for a defenseman, I had to go with DJ for our 1st star of the week. So from here on out, I will do a segment for Player of the Week. And then when they do the monthly awards, we'll get to those as well. And you guys are probably wondering, why have I said DJ the Beast MacLeish? And it's not because he's a beast out there knocking people around. I mean, he does do it. He does hit some people and stuff. But it's because he's just a beast. He's so skilled. He's so good. He's got lots of goals and assists since coming over and back to the team. He's been helping in major ways. He's been the Mountain Player of the Week a couple times. I think he was actually the Mountain Player of the Month last month. So, like, this dude is literally a beast. And it kind of rhymes with MacLeish, so why not DJ the Beast MacLeish? I mean, I like it. You guys tell me if you like it. I think it could go really well. I think it could be a cool new nickname for the guy. So, recap of my 3 stars. Runner-up was Easton Edwards this week, 3 assists on the weekend. played his heart out, like always. Third star, Andrew Schmidt, 1 goal, 2 assists. Second star, Tim Kim. He had 2 goals and 1 assist. And the first star, DJ the Beast MacLeish, with 1 goal and 2 assists, and also the Mountain Division NCDC Player of the Week. So there's my 3 stars. Let's get to the rule of the week. Now, this rule I picked for a couple different reasons this week. We had a couple instances where this rule almost affected games, and it did get called as a penalty at one point, I think in game 2. So the rule of the week this week is high sticking. And the reason why is, like, in the first game, we had that goal come up and over the top, and Michael Hillock, who they thought batted it in, they almost called a high sticking on it and didn't count the goal. But after further conferencing with the refs, they decided that he didn't tap the ball. And if you actually go and watch it on replay or go watch it on Flow Hockey, you do see that he does not touch the goal. So that's one of the main reasons why I came up with this. And then we had an actual high sticking called in the very next game. And I've been noticing a few high sticks in the few games period lately, and even some that don't get called. I saw some in the Casper game. A couple players even got like busted lips and stuff over it. So we're going with high sticking. And high sticking is when a player holds their stick above the opponent's shoulders and makes contact with them. The rule is in place to protect and prevent injury, because the stick can cause harm, sometimes serious harm, when it is contacted with a player to the face or the mouth. There is different variations of this penalty. The first one is just a basic minor. If no injury occurs, it's just a 2-minute minor for the high sticking. And then there's also a double minor. So if a player that gets hit is injured, it could be considered a double minor if the referee thinks it is serious enough to be considered that, like, as far as the injury. Like, if it's barely like a busted lip or something like that, sometimes they don't call it that bad. But if somebody gets a chipped tooth, a busted nose, or something like that over it, they might call it a double minor. And then there is a third variation, which is a match penalty. If the referee thinks the player attempted to injure the opponent when they make contact, they can be assessed a match penalty. And that way, it's a game misconduct. They're ejected from the game at that point, and then they serve like a 5-minute major for that. And I mean, it could be up to a 10-minute, just depending on how severe the injury is and if it was severely intentional. But you hardly ever see that. It's hardly ever a match penalty. Most high sticking is incidental. Sometimes the stick just slips and hits. But there's also other ways that high sticking can be called. A player must be in control of their stick always. So if they lose control of their stick and it goes up high, they can be called for high sticking, even if it doesn't make contact or whatnot. If they're just being careless and it goes up above them, they could be called for it. It's also not allowed to bat a puck above the shoulders. So sometimes you see the puck get flicked up into the air, and most of the time the players will try to catch it, set it down, and then pass it with their stick and whatnot and continue. But every once in a while, they'll try to bat it out of the air, and their stick will go above their shoulders, and that can be considered high sticking. Which brings me to the next way it can be called, which is a goal cannot be scored if the puck played above the shoulder or the goalpost. And this was one of the reasons why I picked this, because in the first game on the weekend on Saturday night, Michael Hillock went to go bat a puck that was, and when he swung his stick, it was above the net and it was above the shoulders, but he did not make contact, unfortunately, for Utah. Great for us, and the goal counted. But if he would have made contact, it would have been considered high sticking and it would have not counted as a goal. So that was why the delay. And that was why I picked high sticking for the rule of the week, because we had that, and then we had a couple incidences the following night where the high sticking got called as an actual penalty. So that's the rule of the week, high sticking. Now let's get on to trivia. Once again, I'd like to congratulate our winner from last week, Chris Strom. Chris, once again, I'll get a hold of you on Facebook or something. I'll hit you up. I'll get you your hat. I appreciate your answering. I appreciate everybody that answered. It made it a lot funner for me because I got to play with this little cool little generator thing on Google that allowed me to place everybody's name in it, and I spun a wheel, and that's how I got the random winner for the week. So congratulations, Chris. Last week's question was, who has the most hat tricks in one season in the NHL? And the answer was the great one, Wayne Gretzky. So all of you that did answered correctly. So everybody that did answer went on the wheel, and one random winner was selected, and that was Chris. So thanks, everybody, for playing along. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to keep this segment going since we had so many people participate last week. This one's going to be back to Spud King trivia. And the question is, who scored the most goals for the Spud Kings last season? So once again, who scored the most goals for the Spud Kings last season? So this is for the 2023-2024 season, not this season, but the last season. Who scored the most goals for the Spud Kings? Answer me on the socials. I'm going to post it on the Facebook page. I'll try to get it up on the X because I know a couple of you responded to me over on X. So I'll try to get a question up there for you guys to comment and leave your answers as well. And once again, if I have multiple answers, I'll use that name generator thing. We'll do a spin of the wheel. I'll select one random winner. One of you will be walking away with the Spud Kingdom podcast trucker hat, and I'll make sure I'll get it to you. So I appreciate all you guys for sticking around for the trivia. I really love that you're taking a part of that. So with that being said, now we will get to the fan interview for the week. So the fan interview for the week is a good friend of mine. We've known each other since we were like 11, 12 years old, played grid kid football, I think is actually how we started and met each other. And then we've been basically best friends ever since. We go to concerts together. We go to sporting events together. We do all sorts of stuff. We watch a lot of stuff on TV together as well. So without further ado, we'll get to my fan interview of the week. This is my buddy Troy Garcia. So we'll get to that right now. All right, Spud Kingdom. So I have my guest of the week, my fan experience, so to speak, is one of my lifetime best buds. Troy Garcia is going to join us today. He's going to explain a little bit of some things, about his experience with hockey and how he started loving hockey and he became a Maple Leafs fan and all that. But we'll get into that in a second. So without any further ado, welcome to the show, Troy.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. So we've been friends a long time, and quite honestly, dude, until like a couple years ago, I didn't even know you liked hockey. So how long have you been a hockey fan?
I didn't even know I liked hockey a few years ago either. My buddy Joseph got me into it, and he's been teaching me the rules, and I'm still learning, and then just put it at that and go from there. And I've been enjoying it. It's athletic. It's get no turf on the ice and everything.
Yeah.
Can't get no 2 injuries like that. So yeah, it's just energetic and fun, and everybody loves to see 2 people punch each other in the face.
Yeah, I mean, there is that, like, when they stop and they start brawling for a minute, everybody gets excited, and I feel like half the people, that's what they're there to see. But, yeah, so you've only been a hockey fan for a few years. Joey got you into it. So did you just automatically pick the Maple Leafs as your team, or did you just watch a little bit? And
how I became a Maple Leafs fan is I was, my buddy Joseph, he's a Pittsburgh Penguins fan.
Okay.
He was teaching me and everything, and I was just learning and watching and just decided to pick a team. And, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, so I got to root for the underdog. So, so at the time, Maple Leafs, and they still not doing very good, so had to go with them. So, and I like the colors, and just everywhere else on other teams, so might as well just go up to Canada,
Might as well. I mean, heck, you like Boston for basketball, like you said, the Dolphins for football. So why not pick a Canadian team for some hockey? I mean, it is where it started after all.
Exactly, right?
So, Maple Leafs fan, only been a fan of hockey for a few years. You've been to a couple Spud Kings games, though, right?
Yeah, I've been to 3 of them. I went to their first season, and then one here and there a couple years ago, so...
Oh, nice. So, your overall experience, what did you think of the games?
It was great. Me and my stepmom Kathy and my cousin Jill went to the game, and they're not a big sports fan, but live sports, you can't go wrong with that. And,
yep.
We just all had a good time and just interacted, and and just had a great time. And they didn't even know anything about hockey. They still don't even know anything about hockey to this day.
But they still had a good time, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's what I've been trying to tell people about the Spud Kings, man. You don't even have to like hockey or even know what hockey is. But if you go to a game, you're going to have a good time.
Oh, of course. You see these youngsters playing and everything, and they're playing just like the pros, semi-pros. I've been to Stillheads games in Boise, and they play just as good. It's just as entertaining.
Yeah, I mean...
and cheaper.
And cheaper. I mean, I think average ticket price is about $20 if you can get them. As a matter of fact, they just opened up another game January 4th. It wasn't supposed to be in Idaho Falls, but now it's going to be, so... More tickets available for another game coming up that people can't always have a hard time getting tickets. But so you made a few Spud Kings games, and I think the overall experience of the game, because it's more than just watching the hockey. Like, they get the crowd involved in the game. They play some good music for the most part. Like, it's not just sit there and watch hockey, right?
That is correct, yeah. And like you go there and the interaction with the fans and how they get the fans into it. It's not just sitting there watching a game. Everybody's interacting with you. You can meet your new best friend there. You never know.
You never know. I mean, I've met some awesome people at the hockey games, and a couple of them have become some pretty close friends. Matter of fact, I just got to go to a game on Saturday because of one of the people that listen to the podcast became a friend of mine. He's a season ticket holder, and he invited me to the game. So I got to go to the game recently.
Lucky, that's cool. I would love to make one here soon, and it's not just about the fighting and everything. It's just about the atmosphere of live sports. Even if you don't know anything about it, check it out, man. Even if you're in the nosebleed sections, you'll love it.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll keep going, and you'll keep getting better seats, and it'll be worth your time and money.
And eventually you'll learn the game of hockey itself, and it won't be like so boring to you.
Right, yeah.
You'll actually be like, oh, okay, I understand why that happened.
Yeah, because see, I'm a big sports fan. I know most of the rules on the other sports, and I'm still learning hockey, and I still enjoy it and know what's going on, but I barely know the basics, and I still have to ask my buddy Joey questions of what's this, what's that. So
like, why do they do that? What does that mean?
Yeah, just watch it, and it's entertaining. So.
And then listening to my podcast, I know you listen every week. The rules segment, does that help you out a little bit? Like when I explain the rules?
Yeah, you got that famous voice and everything, so you explain it very well. You're like explaining football like Peyton Manning does to people, but you're explaining hockey.
Like on the detailed.
Yeah. Good, because I'm one of those guys that doesn't learn very well and has dyslexia and everything, but the way you explain it and I go and read about it, I understand it. So
yeah, I explain the rules like the way that they have them written down, and then I try to explain them like, okay, well, what did you say though? Like, so I'm like, okay, well, this is what it really means, So like,
what did you think? Why this was happening? Why is it called that?
Exactly.
So, you gotta learn. You gotta learn somehow. How do you learn? Somebody teaches you.
Yep, exactly. And then I noticed that, like, watching the game just this past weekend, and even the couple of the rules that I've mentioned, when they come up, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it was, because I'm learning too. Honestly, I've never been like a diehard hockey fan or anything. I've started liking the sport throughout the years, and now that the Spud Kings are here, I'm a real big fan, and so I figured put a little effort into it, learn the sport, teach others about the sport too, get people out to the game. I mean, besides the Chuckers in the summer, we haven't even had anything really here in Idaho Falls.
No, so. Finally, just glad we got the Hero Arena and the Mountain America Center here, so we can start getting bigger things besides concerts and professional sports teams, whether they're minor league or major league or whatever. So yeah,
you never know. We could end up getting more. I mean, if the rumor has it, they might start that arena football league up again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And since coronavirus happened, sponsors, they can get back out there and get their name back out there.
Exactly. There's more people going. Live sports are definitely not a thing of the past. They are the future. I have the greatest time going to live events, regardless whether it's hockey. We go to wrestling, fighting, concerts, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, any live entertainment is the best. You see it on TV, it's just totally different. So you got to experience it live at least once, whether it's a concert, whether it's sports, whether it's, wrestling, whether it's fake, whether it's real, whether it's not. It'll be the best thing you'll ever do, and you'll scream like a little girl. It's your first live sporting event.
You'll feel like a 6-year-old kid again.
Yes,
that first experience of enjoying sports on TV or cheering for your favorite hero. You get that all over again when you go to a live event.
Yeah, when you're a 39-year-old man that's 6'3", 273 pounds and you're screaming like a little girl and everybody around you is like, settle down. It's like, no, dude, this is cool. This is amazing. I can't believe I'm here.
And I feel like at the Spud Kings games, a lot of grown men start acting that way.
Oh yeah. It's that way, and it will still continue to get better.
Heck yeah, I agree. Well, Troy, I thank you for coming on and talking to me for the day, man. It's really good to have an experience from somebody that really didn't even like hockey till literally like a couple years ago, all because of a buddy was watching it, and you sat down and you're like, okay, well, what are you watching here?
The first thing I knew about hockey is, when Grant played back in junior high.
See, and I mean, yeah, we went to games back in high school and junior high.
Didn't know anything. We just went to just hang out and have fun.
Exactly.
Slap on the wall, get rowdy.
One of our friends scored. That's all we really knew. We didn't know much other than that.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, all right, man. So thanks for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it. We'll have to have you on again sometime. We need to go to a game.
All right, appreciate it for having me, man. And I'll definitely be back, And then we got to go to that Maple Leafs in Utah game. So
oh, yeah, we need to do that.
We got to try and make that. So, you guys take care. Go watch the game. Check it out on TV. Whatever you got to do, just do it.
All right. Thanks, Troy.
Thank you.
Man, thanks, Troy. I really appreciate having you on the show, man. Like I said, let's get together. Let's go to a game. Let's try to, if we can, I would love to go to that Maple Leafs game with you, man. That would be pretty cool. I know we have to check to see how the school schedule and everything works for both of us with the big semester coming up for me, and you're starting at a new school. So we'll see how things go. Hopefully we can get that to work out. Man, I really appreciate you taking time and coming and talking to me and giving an outlook of a guy that honestly didn't even care about hockey until just a couple years ago. Sat down with a buddy who he's trying to get to watch basketball and football and baseball and these other sports, who our buddy Joey doesn't care for really any of those sports, but he is a diehard NHL Pittsburgh Penguins fan. So he actually got Troy to sit down and watch a game. And Troy, like he said, ended up picking the Maple Leafs because why not? He likes the underdogs because at the time the Maple Leafs were the underdogs. And I mean, like he said, right now they're not doing the best, but I mean, they're doing better. So it's awesome to have him on the show, give him a little bit of perspective to all you guys about somebody that wasn't a fan of hockey and is just barely learning it still to this day. So it's awesome to have him on. Thanks, Troy, for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. So the weekend outlook that's coming up this weekend, we have a 2-game set with Ogden. First one is Friday night, 7:05, normal as usual, home. Winner can get first place. If we win, we'll tie them with points. But because we beat them last time and the way that we played them the last couple times that we played, we would actually end up in first place tied with them. So it would make it for a huge game Sunday night. Also, Friday is Thunderstick giveaway. So the first 2,000 fans in attendance get Thundersticks, courtesy of Wendy's, which is awesome, man. Those things, they make a lot of cool noise. They're normally not allowed inside the Mountain America Center. We usually only allow the cowbells, but since it's a giveaway, we'll let you have them for the night and stuff. That thing's going to be awesome. It's going to look cool. It's going to sound awesome. So first 2,000 fans get Thundersticks, and it doesn't say first 2,000 kids or nothing. It's first 2,000 overall fans. Courtesy of Wendy's will get Thundersticks. That's Friday night at 7 o'clock, Mountain America Center. And then Saturday, we play Ogden in Ogden. And we can either improve the lead if we win Friday night. We can improve the lead Saturday, or we could fall further back. Utah, the Outliers, have this weekend off. So whatever we do, they won't be catching us this weekend. But this is a battle against Ogden. This is our big rival. They are number 1. We are number 2. There's only 2 points separating us from them. And we need to sweep this weekend. This is huge. Come on out. This thing is almost sold out. So please come do what you can to get there. Come support these boys. They really need our help to cheer them on. Huge game against Simcoe and Ogden. So please come out and support them. And if you guys can get the chance, I won't be able to Saturday. We got Boise State basketball here in town, so I'll be working that. So I'll be watching the game on TV later on Float Hockey. So if you guys get the chance, though, get down to Ogden. It's only a couple-hour drive. You'll support the boys Saturday. I know they would love to see you guys down there and giving them a little bit of a holla. They could use it. But this is a huge weekend in the standings. This can control first place for a little while. If Ogden beats us this weekend, it's going to give them a huge lead. No matter if they win 1 game, 2 games, we need them to lose both of them. We need to take these. But if they win 1 or 2 games, they're going to have a huge commanding lead on us going into the second half of the season after the Christmas break. So hopefully we can win this weekend. We can get back to there in first place, take control, be in a good spot. So with that being said, let's wrap it up, man. So we split the weekend with Utah, still in second place. We had the 3 stars of the week, which was Andrew Schmidt, Tim Kim, and DJ the Beast MacLeish. I want to thank my interviews, which DJ, I got to speak with him at the end of the first game. So thank you, DJ, for taking the time and talking with me. I appreciate that, man. Troy, my buddy, Troy Garcia, appreciate you for stopping by and talking with me, man. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have your point of view on things, because I know growing up you wasn't a hockey fan. Well, at least I thought so. So I had to make sure I confirmed that, because if you were hiding that from me from when we were kids, I mean, we could have had another thing in common, bro. Anyway, thank you for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Insta. We're on Facebook. I'm on X. On Insta and Facebook, I'm at Spud Kingdom Podcast. On X, it's Spud Kingdom Pod. And find me, this podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music. I really appreciate you guys that listen every single week. I appreciate you new people that we have got on the show, listening to the show anyway. I'm going to try to get as many of you season ticket holders also on as interviews as well, because I think some of you have an awesome perspective. And just talking with Brian when we were watching the game together, he actually has a lot of good insight. So I might need to get him on the show, Mr. Colson. So if you're listening, which you probably will be, man, I'm going to be hitting you up. We need to do an interview one of these times and get you on the show. So anyway, I want to thank you all once again for listening. Let's try to get these W's this weekend. Come out, support the boys. Thundersticks on Friday. Go down, travel to Ogden on Saturday. Let's be louder than their crowd. Let's show these boys some support if we can. I know times are tight right now because it's almost the holiday season and everything. But let's do what we can to support these boys. Once again, like, subscribe, follow. Appreciate you guys so much. My name's Kevin Woodrome, also known as Woody. Thanks again for tuning in. And as always, go Spud Kings.
K-I-N-G, kings, meaning we seen things. And without a cheat sheet, a walking beast, no wanting peace until I'm knee deep in the rewards I need to retrieve. Keep the receipt once I receive what I work for, but never relieve. Better watch out, if you don't move, get ready to fall down. If you don't root for my son, I'm not proud. Like what you talking about, I'll pop out, even if it's hot out. Somebody let the dogs out, like they coming for the dog out before being brought out. Whoa, they might need to keep me locked out because I will stomp in my stomping ground. So let's know this is Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud Kingdom, Spud. Any day, any night, on site, alright, let's go. Spud.